Why didn't I go to the gym, you idiot? Keep waiting. I don't make enough money. Did I make a mistake that's going to cost me? I wish I could sing like Chris. I wish I looked like Chris. Am I doing the right thing? Why don't they respect me? I'm not even a good... I haven't got time to be dressed. Why did I get out of bed? Now, unfortunately, that's how my brain sounds all the time, except for brief moments of respite. And we're going to explore why. Hi everyone. Now, as long as I can remember, my brain has always been working against me. I don't even know what you might call it. Might you call it, an overactive brain, overactive mind, some kind of, I don't know, disorder, some kind of anxiety, who knows what it is. Maybe it's just a normal way the brain operates. I'm not sure. Maybe there's so much input and stimulus that I'm struggling to constantly register it. But what you heard at the start of this episode is my thought process all the time, but with much more swear words, but I'm trying to keep it relatively family friendly. Sometimes my fiance's voice will penetrate the noise and she'll say, "Are you listening to what I'm saying?" And I'll go, Yes, of course, yes, and in panic. Imagine hearing that all the time in your head. Sometimes my attention's pulled in different directions and it's so hard to focus up, but focusing on things does tend to quieten it, which is why I like to sometimes tinker and fix things. It's why in my teenage years and in my 20s I found that drugs and drinking really helped. It helped hone the voices, helped focus me up, it helped quiet them down. The noise and the mess and the cavalcade of bollocks and noise and self-doubt and confusion and insecurities would be suddenly silenced because I'm high or because I'm drunk or because I'm focused up on a project. It's been tough. It was much harder when I was a teenager because I didn't know why my brain was being like this. It would come with physical stimulus. My heart would start to race. I'd have actual sort of anxiety, but my brain sounds like this all the time, but with a constant undercurrent of, have you got that podcast episode out yet? Do you look okay? Why is your belly hanging over your trousers like that? Why have you let yourself get in this state? Could you look like this if you wanted to? My mind is built upon a lattice work of negativity and self-loathing, and I try and drown it out by saying, no, come on, you're a good dad, you're a good fiance, you're doing fine at your job, you make enough money, everything's okay, the podcast is going great, people are listening to it and enjoying it. But those things are so weak and temporary because I've only ever fed the loud wolf in my head. That's the strongest possible wolf and it's devouring the other. There's a job that I had a few years ago that required me to be on my own for 12 hours straight, and it was insufferable for the most part. You'll never see me nowadays without earphones in, listening to a podcast or an audiobook or music, anything to drown out the noise. That's why these things are important to me. But this job that I had where I was on my own for 12 hours was insufferable. And I managed to train my way out of the sort of agony by every night before going to bed writing down 3 things I like about myself, 3 things I'm grateful for. And then after about a month or 6 weeks of doing that every single night, I found I had smoother, cleaner, quicker access to the more positive thoughts. Those thoughts, I was feeding the good side of my brain, and that side of the brain became stronger and I became a little bit more positive. I sort of stepped out of that habit, and now the darker forces in my brain, the louder voices, the insecurities, the nightmarish voices that sort of hound and plague me all day are there all the time. So it's time for me to just concentrate and get back into the rhythm of doing whatever I can to help the positive side of my brain to come forth and have a little bit more power. The reason I'm talking about this is because ever since my son was born, I've had to self-analyze a hell of a lot more. Who am I? What do I want? What do I want to do? What's the core me? Are these voices the core me? I mean, I am overweight. That is something I need to address. But can I think about that in a more healthy way? I could be making more money. My family depends on me financially, so maybe I need to be more bold and take better opportunities. But then will that diminish the amount of time I have to spend on the podcast, which is my dream? What does a man become when we lose our dreams? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to lose that aspect of me. This is my output, my creativity. I have full faith that one day I'm going to be a professional podcaster, so I can't give up that. But then if I take a new opportunity at work, will that mean that I have to then prioritize that because it's a more difficult position, although financially more significant? The other reason I have to really consider these things is because I'm a father. There's every possibility that my son's brain will be wired the same way, whereas I've had to claw my way through this dark, horrible forest and attempt some semblance of architecture or routine to keep the dark voices at bay, to keep my insecurities and my manic side of my brain at bay. I've had to do that all by myself. It's self-taught. The reason I need to master these things and to master the tools I need to help me through this is because if my son is wired the same way as me, his brain's going to sound exactly the same, and I can help from a very early age reinforce the positive things. Constantly tell him that, I love him, I love you, kid, and you're beautiful, you are handsome, you are strong, you are funny, you are smart, you are intelligent, and that's so important. You are kind, you are gentle. I can reinforce these things in him from an early age. Things that my mum did for me. My mum was excellent at, from an early age, building me up. You're smart, you're funny, you're beautiful, you're a good singer, you're building me up. But at some point, I fell off that pedestal and came crashing down. And sometimes that's good because you can find yourself suddenly in reality. So you can go, okay, well, actually, I'm not that good a singer. I'm not that good at this, this, and this, but that's okay because to believe otherwise would be, sort of waste of time. But all of it came crashing down, the self-confidence, everything. So I've got to build that back up myself. And I've been trying to do that since my teenage years or my early 20s. But with my son, I can keep a close eye on it. I can make sure he reaffirms himself constantly and keeps a good eye on his qualities and the things that he's good at. But I don't know. But that's why this matters. That's why the conversation around men's mental and women's mental health. I know mums struggle, but I can only see this from the point of view as a dad, and I can only see this from a man's point of view, and it is rough. It is a burden, and mix those in. When those thoughts, for the most part, are like white noise, static in the background sometimes, and then the relief is when I'm with my fiance, with my son. They sort of disappear now, but those voices are always there. Always. Imagine like someone following you around, constantly saying, "Wow, you do look gross in that shirt. Your belly's spilling over. You've lost your ass. Why haven't you got an ass anymore? You're getting very stumpy. You're built like a wombat. You're constantly just chirping. Whether you like it or not, even if you didn't initially believe it, you would eventually because those things are just sinking into your unconscious mind. So So my task is not only to physically better myself and make myself stronger, which is what I want to do. I'm going to the gym sort of regularly, but that comes, and I always feel better. I always feel better if I go to the gym and I lift some weights and I feel, I am strong. There's a lot of people that would give a lot for this sort of strength in this chest and these shoulders, and then that disappears because then a voice says, "Yeah, but look at your gut. Yeah, you've smoked since you're a teenager. Your lungs are fucked. You're probably going to get cancer." I tell you, it's not easy. So my goal is to practice loving myself better. I would never say these things to another person, so it's outrageous that I would say them to myself, really. But yeah, so my goal going forward is to get better at loving myself, stay in reality, because I do need to lose weight, but also be kinder to myself, because I'm a good person for the most part. I want to learn the tools I need to be able to teach my son that everything he needs to be self-confident and self-assured. Because I believe if you have that and you can maintain it into your teenage years, then you might be spared some of the very, very poor decisions that I made. And maybe he'll grow up to be a much more balanced human being than me. And the annoying thing is, my life is so good. My life has never been better. But it's the old me. He's still so loud, chirping away, grinding me down slowly. So I've got to start combating that better. Thank you to Graham's Windows and Doors, grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. Graham's Windows and Doors are Yeovil's finest purveyor of windows, doors and conservatories. That's grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. If you enjoyed this, please click follow on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. If I'm going to be the best podcaster in the world someday, I do need your help to get there. And leave a comment in the Spotify thing. Spotify's got comments now, so leave me a comment and let you know what to think of the episode. I really appreciate it. Take care, everyone. I love you very dearly, and I'll see you next time.
Hiya, you're right. Hi, everyone.